I expect there will be some batteries that come off that run that we'll be able to share with customers after validating them before the end of the year. So we're still on target. We've been guiding people that we should be able to start, recognizing revenue from customer deliveries in this calendar year, and I think we're still on track for that.
Hello, you're watching Proactive. I'm joined by Ilika CEO Graham Purdy. Graham, you're out with results for the year to April today, and you've hit major milestones on both the Stereax and Goliath programs. Take us through the highlights, please.
Yeah, fantastic set of milestones that we've hit over the last 12 months, actually. It's great just to take a moment and actually review some of the progress that the team has made. I think, the key thing for us on the Stereax side has been the completion of the installation of our key equipment that's required to manufacture Stereax cells over at Cirtec Medical's facility in Massachusetts in the US. We've been supporting them to run trial batches of batteries to fully qualify that process, and that's gone really well. And then on the Goliath side, I would say that validation that we got of the first generation P1 prototypes from our customer sponsored programs was really great to see. And that I remember sharing that video with you a few months ago about where we compared a P1 prototype in a nail penetration test where we stick a nail through the battery and totally inert response compared to the firework display that you get from a normal lithium ion battery. So, some really great technical data and validation that we've seen on the Goliath side.
Looking at Stereax, with 21 customers trialing the M300 batteries, how close are you to generating meaningful revenue from medical applications?
Well, that is still to come this year, isn't it? So, watch this space. We are pretty close to finishing the engineering lots, so the initial, trial batches that we're running through the full equipment set. I saw some early results just last week that were very encouraging. We will be starting what we call the alpha sample production runs shortly. I expect there will be some batteries that come off that run that we'll be able to share with customers after validating them before the end of the year. So we're still on target. We've been guiding people that we should be able to start, recognizing revenue from customer deliveries in this calendar year, and I think we're still on track for that.
And what are the next milestones or on the roadmap for Goliath, Graham?
Well, Goliath is going to have a similarly exciting half two as we go through into the second half of this calendar year. We're currently testing our P1.5 or 10 amp hour prototypes. They're 5 times bigger than the P1 prototypes that we shared with customers in last year's summer and into the autumn. So there's a lot more interest actually in those larger batteries. We've got a larger number of people testing them. And then once that's validated, of course, we'll be moving into the P2 prototypes, which are the 50 amp hour prototypes towards the end of the year. And all of that work is being supported by that grant we were talking about just a couple of days ago, that £1.25 million grant that we've just secured as part of the government's Drive 35 initiative, that $2.5 billion of grant money deployment over the coming 10 years. And actually, we're expecting quite a bit of additional opportunity in terms of further grant support to really leverage our shareholder equity and make sure that we get plenty of non-dilutive grant funding to support our program.
Apart from that £1.25 million grant, Graham, you also recently raised additional funding as well. How are those funds being allocated across the business as the year progresses?
Yeah, well, roughly a third is going to be allocated to Stereax. So really to support the remaining tech transfer activities and interact with customers as they start testing our M300s. And then the 2/3 for Goliath to match some of that grant funding and make sure that we can cover the materials and operating costs of running that automated pilot line that we've got at our facility.
Graham, I hope you'll continue to keep us updated with progress on both of those programs. Thank you very much for taking the time today.
I'm sure we'll speak soon, Stephen. Take care.
And you, Graham Purdy, CEO of Ilika.